Hello, everybody. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. I know what you're thinking. Dave, why are we making content? The Bachelor season is over. Oh, you must be new here. We have videos and podcasts every day. Podcast in the morning, podcast in the afternoon, videos in between, and we got a lot to get into. It's bound to be a wild day today. We have tornado warnings here in Nashville. They're letting the kids out of school early. We've battened down the hatches. The Tesla's safe and secure in the garage, lest the hailstorms become golf ball size. But the real storm happening across the country is the motion in the ocean of the Clayton Echard paternity scandal. That's right. Today could be the day we get touchdown for the storm known as Jane Doe's response to Clayton's motion to compel. I'm going to share what her new lawyer has had to say. It's the first of all of her lawyers, as far as we know, that has actually made a public statement. Very fascinating. I don't know what the general procedures are, but he pulls one of those, I don't normally do this, but type of deals. And he was entirely reasonable in, you would hope a lawyer would be. Follow me on Instagram at DNeals. I'm pretty reasonable over there. And if you want to join the Patreon, I got to tell you, I've had a lot of people reach out to me and ask if they could get a virtual live stream of the, stand-up show that I did on Thursday with Clayton Echard. And I'm here to tell you this. I've got a copy of it right here. I've got 50 plus minutes of my set and my full Q&A with Clayton. Here's what I want to tell you. Some of the things Clayton said, I think would be newsworthy, and it doesn't have to deal with Jane Doe. I don't know if I care if you guys speculate, but if you were at the live show, maybe don't say it yet. I need to vet this with Clayton. I can't even begin to tell you the moment I was surprised at what he said. Maybe I'll bleep it out. Maybe I'll bleep it out and show you. If you're in the Patreon only live stream, you might know this, but it was absolute wild and shocking information from his season that I never knew. This isn't hyperbole, folks. I don't want to post this online and then it becomes an Us Weekly thing and it's bad for his mental health. I don't know. I mean, it was wild what he said. But either way, here's a quick and innocent clip for you. I will be sharing as much of this as I can on the Patreon for free if you join the private membership community, patreon.com/Dave Neal. I'll also be live there this morning as we wait for the news to drop on what actually is the response from Jane Doe. But here's a quick clip of what Clayton had to say at our live stand-up show.
My mom wasn't the biggest fan of it. She read every single comment online. I think did I tell you the story? The first special they showed me, and I was walking in a jean jacket.
Sorry, I was opening a box. It was a gift from his parents.
And I had this white shirt on. And she called me, and she was like, I can't do this already. I was like, what? She's like, they're saying you have man boobs. And I'm like, Mom, I don't have man boobs. She's like, well, that shirt wasn't really flattering. I was like, we're only on episode 1. I'm in trouble because I already know how this ends.
I was gonna say, well, you didn't even have the perm yet. Like what?
No, you're gonna sell me out right now. I tell everybody.
Good. You look good with it. What?
Okay, so anyway, you can maybe if you stick around to the end of this video, I'll play you one more clip. But it was a ton of fun. All right, so let's get into the meat and potatoes, to use a proper Irish term here, of what's happening here. Here's a response by Jane Doe's new lawyer after the Seeking Justice for Clayton Echard Twitter page, sent him a little ribbing, provoked a response. So what happened was on March 11th, there was this motion to compel. This was Clayton's motion to say, I think we need to see the evidence that she's not sharing with us. At petitioner's deposition on March 1st, she altered an ultrasound image, falsely claiming they came from Southwest Medical Imaging. She miscarried 2 hand-sized fetuses sometime in September, October, and was seen by yet-to-be-named telehealth providers, but provided no records regarding the same, nor confirmation of the date of the alleged event. When she, quote-unquote, miscarried, she took photos of what would have been 19 to 24-week twin fetuses, but she no longer had those photos, which she claimed she sent to her sister, because she had gotten a new phone, and there is a 4th case in California where someone alleged that petitioner fabricated a pregnancy. Whoa. Okay, that's a lot of information. That's a lot. And Woodnick Law knows what they're doing. They're saying, all right, you said all these things in the deposition, and she's, of course, hell-bent on not having this deposition get out. Why? Well, because she does admit to altering information, and that's fraud. It's fraud if you're altering information to deceive, right? It would be fraud for me to lie to you guys knowing I was lying to benefit myself. That would be fraud on the court. And she did this before. I know her defense might be, well, I altered the ultrasound not because I wanted to alter, information in the court, but I wanted to, hide. And this is her actual defense. I wanted to hide where I got the ultrasound so Clayton wouldn't come and find me. To which the response was, well, you said it was already anonymous. So if it's anonymous, why are you worried he's going to come and find it? And also, doesn't Clayton Echard, the father of your alleged unborn twins, have a right to know your supposedly privileged medical information? Now, he doesn't need to know if you got herpes in 7th grade. He doesn't need to know those things, whatever the hell happened. And by the way, I'm not saying that happened. I'm just throwing something. He doesn't need to know that, that your dental records. He just needs to know anything relevant to what might be, the case here regarding these twins. So I was afraid he was going to cross-examine. Yeah, you should have been. You should have been knowing that he wanted to look at the ultrasound, know where it came from. Why don't you just trust me? It's such a manipulative place to come from. Just trust me. If we can't build this relationship on a bedrock of trust, what do we even have, oh Clayty boy? And he's like, well, can I just know where you got your ultrasound from so I know it's true? Well, come on. No one needs to see that. So anyway, here's what the Twitter said yesterday. Wouldn't surprise me if Jane Doe's new lawyer files at the very end of the day just to be a prick. Very possible nothing is available today. We shall see. And this was yesterday because, as you guys know, we've been waiting around. And I'm going to be going live at 11 a.m. Central Time. I'm going to be going live at 11 a.m. Central Time, earlier than normal, to do a longer Patreon with you guys, expecting we're going to see that information. We have people at the courthouse waiting. As you guys know, janitors are in the barrel scraping community. They're squeegeeing out things. We got people at that, window washing that are looking into the depositions. There's a plant guy misting one of the succulents, just trying to listen to see if he hears anything. We're everywhere. Oh, do you need your carpet steamed today? It just says Barrel Scraper Club right here. I'm here to steam your carpets. Anyway, I'm kidding, of course. But the point is that there are people that are waiting anxiously, very anxiously, maybe listening to this right now. Hey, how are you? Good to see you. And those folks that are down at the court will be getting the public the information they rightfully deserve to know, which is what her response is. Either way, here's her new lawyer. His name's David Gingras, I believe. And this is, she's had Lexi Linval. She had Corey Keith. She had Carrie from another one who she attempted to get disbarred. I believe she filed a complaint against her. She's had, a couple lawyers that in her case against me. I mean, it's on and on and on, right? Well, here's her new lawyer, and there's been some, people looking into his past and this and that. And I don't know if he's a lawyer who's legally allowed to represent her. I wish her the best. Maybe he's a good guy. Maybe he's not. I have no idea. It is not my job to judge who she finds to represent her. But I do think it's interesting. I've seen how pleasant law talk is. I've never experienced this before. Even with my lawyer, who has been fantastic, just such a nice guy. It was a blessing that I was put in the position to meet my lawyer. I truthfully mean that. It felt like it was divine intervention. But I saw how kind my lawyer was to Jane Doe in correspondence. I'd be CC'd on emails and things like that. And I would explain to my lawyer, man, I'm telling you, when she sends an email, it puts shivers up my spine. It's just this weird feeling where you feel like you have your balls in a vice grip and someone has control over your destiny. That's what it feels like, knowing that they can manipulate situations, flat out lie, turn things around to play the victim and this and that. And I remember my lawyer just telling me, and lawyers in some ways are almost like a mental, and again, I don't know, maybe people will disagree with me, and I guess it depends on the lawyer, but can be sort of like therapy for you. They're like your only buffer between you and insanity, chaos. So David Gringas, I don't know anything about him, but you can see the same very sort of I don't know, neutral and clear responses, because if he was an asshole in response, it would make his client look bad. So he says this: I don't normally make public statements about pending cases. Ethical rules limit this. But a motion was filed early this afternoon by petitioner. It hasn't hit the docket yet, but it will when the court staff processes it. Clayton's lawyer has it. Just be patient. So his response here is the same response that I normally make when someone's rude about me on Reddit. And the response is basically just to say, I'm here. And, people are generally nicer. So they were like, oh, maybe he's just going to be a prick. And then his response, not being a prick, is counter to what the thought was. Now, it doesn't mean he's not a prick. It just means he's playing this in a polite way. Maybe because, and it could be to make his client look good, but it could also be because he's just doing his job representing someone, and he doesn't want to get, gum stuck on his shoe, metaphorical gum, if you will. Little to no gum found. So their response was, thank you for letting us know. We look forward to reading the motions. Great response. And then David said, for your information, the court website reported a technical error when this filing was submitted. Nothing to do with me, and that could explain why it isn't available yet. If this isn't resolved by tomorrow, we will get it fixed. The motion was emailed directly to Woodnick, so he has it now. And then Woodnick I'm reading this for the first time. Woodnick Fan Club, which is so funny that a Twitter account called Woodnick Fan Club exists, said, America's lawyer, Greg Woodnick, Esquire, is on standby to receive the latest response. He should really collaborate with Hobby Lobby, as he is the pro at identifying arts and crafts projects. Hopefully those projects make their way to Scottsdale soon. Wow. Yeah, get Hobby Lobby on the phone here. Someone said, yeah, maybe he is a last minute filer. Maybe that's what they do. Maybe they file last minute just to piss people off. But it sounds in this instance that that's not the case. Now, if you do want up-to-date information from Twitter, Clayton's Justice is doing the Lord's work, as it were. An hour ago, they said, we know that filings were made yesterday. Now it's up to the Maricopa County courts to redact what they need to and post them to the docket, hopefully today. Well, that's what we wait for, hopefully today. And again, the motion to compel is asking for a lot of information. I mean, they didn't just ask for information. They threw a lot in there. They called her a compulsive liar. Compulsive lying is not a defense to disclosure production. Petitioners' increasingly apocryphal tales include her telling Us Weekly just last week that her pregnancy was confirmed at an urgent care. So she keeps on giving statements to media which are patently untrue. And now people are saying, well, who's the urgent care? Or was it when you were 3 weeks pregnant and you tested positive? They said HCG tests are not confirmation of pregnancy. So you see the linguistics here. Will it have to come down to, getting speech experts to say, to agree that HCG doesn't mean you tested positive, or getting experts to agree to that? It reminds me of a past case where the idea of pledging a donation was different than actually donating. You understand? There are a lot of similarities to this case to others where people will dance around words and use words that are not their correct. So for her to say, well, like I tested positive, therefore, it almost makes me feel like she thought. And again, we break our heads thinking about this, but it makes me wonder, did she think she could get away with all of this because she knew she tested positive for HCG early on? And at what point will a judge or somebody else decide, hey, just because you tested positive doesn't mean you can claim you're pregnant. Like, you have to get the next test and the next test. I'm really not too sure. As promised, if you stuck around, I would give you a little bit more. Here's the intro of the stand-up show. I'm going to be posting for sure my full 30-minute set. I might have to bleep a line or two, because there's some crazy things, that I don't want to get in trouble for. Nothing of speech police, but just, I mentioned some things about the Jane Doe saga. The security team all had photos of her just to make sure she didn't show up. She had multiple of her victims were there at the show, and including lawyers, not Clayton's, but mine, and others that were there, possibly in case, I don't know, the police got called, or, How great is that my lawyer from Los Angeles showed up to Arizona for this show? I mean, I didn't think the police would get called, but she did call the FBI and the police on me before. So I would be kind of naive if I wasn't at least a little prepared for her to maybe make some sort of threat, knowing exactly where I would be in public. That didn't happen. Here's the intro, and the audience that came and supported, amazing response.
Our next guest, he is the host of the Bachelor Rush Hour podcast.
Great host, Paul Green.
Recently featured in Time Magazine. You know him, I love him. Let's get on the stage, Dave Neal!
Look at these ladies dancing. Look at the Oh, I got ladies raising the roof. Oh my gosh, loved it. Absolutely, Paul Green was great. There it is.
All right, keep it going for Paul. Let him hear it, everybody.
Anyway.
Make some noise for Paul.
I think I had a joke about, let's see.
Yeah, it's been a weird year. Featured in Time Magazine. Here we are.
All right, this part's interesting.
Yeah, I got featured in Time Magazine and then sued for harassment. Give it up for that. Aren't those the two most American things you can do, right? I was eating apple pie as I was getting featured and sued at the same time. Like, go USA on that one. Sucks getting sued by a self-help podcaster. That sucks. I mean, she was helping herself to my money, so there you go. Got sued by a lady who rides horses. Why are horsewomen the most unstable out there? Like, literally, it said in my Time, in the Time feature, it said, "You're gonna love Dave Neal unless your name's." That's what it said.
All right, that's it for me, guys. We'll be back with more content. I'll be live on Patreon, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time if you want to watch that full set. I'll talk to you guys in a little bit.